What happens to your phone? Did you throw it across the room? Did it incinerate itself? Where did you go? Especially everybody on Marketplace. I want it. I want it.
I tweaked my back turning around to say, huh.
Levi be like, oh, I got a text. My wife does not like that about you.
I've never talked to your wife.
She watches you interact with me.
You ready? Let's get it. Absolutely not. Oh boy. Look at this.
Oh no.
You never stopped it?
I don't know when I started this.
How many days is that?
That's
like
23.
2,351 hours.
That's reckless. Your poor battery.
It's 97 days.
I wondered why this phone kept dying all the time.
You have had
It's just working
You
his
have
little
had a
heart
timer
off.
on for 97 days and never noticed it?
I didn't know.
I mean, I've had that happen where it's been like a day. But 97 days?
2,351 hours, 51 minutes.
There's not many things I've done
53
consistently for
And
97
you can
days
put
straight.
your drink up here too.
Okay.
This phone kept dying, and I was like, why does this phone die all the time?
We can make a whole program off of that. The 97.
I don't know.
And you complain about my unread messages.
No, but look. I can close that app, and that clock is still going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
the beauty of
that,
technology.
like, clearly,
Are you going to stop it?
Nah, I'm okay.
Hey, hit a lap. Like, hit the lap button, and that's when you notice.
That's when I noticed it, and
Yeah.
I'll go back again and do it. All right.
Why don't you stop it so your phone quits dying?
No, I want that baby to blow up.
This is the burner phone.
Maybe we can get sponsored by.
That's where you get all your drug
Sponsored
deals and
by
everything
Sprite.
from.
I don't want to get sponsored by Sprite.
Why don't you want to be sponsored by Sprite?
I'd rather get sponsored
Bring
by
back Sprite
by like
Remix.
RC Cola or like Mountain Lightning or Dr. Thunder.
None of
No,
those quench your
Sprite is
thirst.
Coca-Cola Company. I'll be sponsored by them all
I
day.
want to get sponsored by like Vest. No, Vest. I'm sorry. Vest is the brand.
Vest.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, what's
I would
the,
like if you're a company out there and
What's the one
you
we
go
just
by the
bought
name of
recently?
Vest,
It's a really
have
cheap
I got a
one.
brand idea for you?
Shanta. Shasta.
Shasta.
Yeah.
Vest.
Shanta. If there's a company out there called Shanta,
All right.
have I got the spokesperson for you?
Let's do
That's
this.
right. You're doing the intro, so.
I'm doing the intro.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get it. Gosh. What do you?
Start the intro, bro.
I hate this already. Hello, folks. Welcome
want
back
donuts?
to another
They're pumpkin spice.
amazing episode of
pumpkin
That's How You Feel.
Well, how you want to try one now?
I'm your host. My name's Caleb, as always. I'm joined by my co-host, Levi.
You want to try one?
I'm good.
It's pumpkin spice season.
I'm even more good.
Ooh, the fumes.
And
There's a lot of fumes coming out of that bag.
thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
That is something that I don't like.
So who you see, we have a special guest in the building.
I'm Levi, everybody.
Chubby bunny, chubby bunny, chubby bunny, chubby bunny.
What? You told me to start the show, and then that's when you break out donuts.
It's pumpkin spice season, bro. I gotta let everybody know.
This is
That's-
the part of the
that's
show where
villainous
we introduce
activity.
all of the antics.
This isn't Lil
If you
Debbie.
pay
it's
attention to
Big
what's happening
Deborah.
right now, this is the relational bickering.
His name is Charles. Welcome, Charles, to the show, folks.
I like to call him CJ DBA Charles.
So this is something you
want one?
I'm really pumpkin spice is way overrated. It is.
Listen,
I would have to agree with that, but I haven't had it in a long time because the pumpkin flavor itself
you still
is
ain't
not
ate your
real.
donut.
I'm speaking.
You know, you have like a television, radio, like narrator voice.
You haven't seen his content that he creates, have you?
That's Charles, actually.
That's Charles.
That's Charles.
All right. So where was I at? Charles
Well,
is
real
here.
quick, you know how I'm 0.07% Nigerian.
So Charles is here.
But when
and-
pumpkin spice season happens, I am a basic white girl.
Yep, Charles is here, folks. So welcome to the show. Something you don't know about Charles is that this podcast would not exist without Charles.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he is the
You were the one that pushed.
He's the catalyst that actually got the ball rolling on the podcast. He created the Gmail account, and that's all. Did you create the Gmail account or the YouTube account?
YouTube.
So when you create a Gmail account, YouTube comes with it, and I'll say, hey, here.
And then he sent me the email and password, and I was just like, I guess we're doing a podcast now.
Yeah, because that's when you came up to me and he was like, "Hey, are you really serious about this?" Because like Charles created.
Well, if you remember what I said when I was ear hustling and inserting myself into your conversation, I was like, "You need to do it. Yeah. You're gonna do it." And then you were like, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna make you do it."
And now we're on episode 27, and we have 6 viewers.
27, baby.
27 and 6 viewers. So I want to just say thank you for pushing your friends into doing something because
it's actually been really fun.
Well, it's been real.
Listen, if you don't shut up over there,
it's been fun, and we've been watching them have fun.
Yeah,
I've been a very enthused patron of this podcast. I am a fan. It is fantastic. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give them their flowers right now. So, this is me and you, me to y'all. They are amazing. I haven't seen very many podcasts go from episode 1 and be at caliber like this one. And every week, every episode is increasingly more energetic, entertaining, and you even got some comments that are kind of mean.
Yeah.
That means you're doing something.
The mean comments, I enjoy the mean comments.
So mean.
No, some of them are downright just mean.
Okay, so is anybody actually like articulate and clever, or is it just like, I'm going to spell this wrong, but I mean bad intentions?
So when we get to the comments, there's one comment we're talking about. Their username, like, as soon as I saw their username, I was like, why are you even commenting? Yeah. No, but I was talking, I think it was the episode with Ben. Was it last week then?
The hateful comments?
Yeah, so YouTube Shorts, they're like hateful just to be like nasty.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
Let me get this off real quick.
Yeah. But it doesn't bother me that much.
So a couple facts about Charles. He's a DJ.
CJ the DJ.
So you can book him for all your wedding and entertainment.
That is not what he goes by.
I don't actually have a choice anymore. My friends and family call me CJ. So if you've known me growing up, I was always introduced to CJ. And then I graduated college and I was like, I got to be Charles. I've always signed my name Charles. I've always written my name on every assignment, Charles. But then when I graduated college, I was like, I got to grow up. So professionally, I've always been Charles.
Yeah.
So there's a sect of people who have no idea who CJ is.
Because it's like your Instagram's Charles Jr., right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's midways, give you a clue. So my official DJ name at this point is Charles Jr. And I end most of my sets by saying, hey, it's been great. Thanks for having me. I go by the name of Charles Jr. My friends and family call me CJ. And tonight, you all are my friends and not my family. Be safe. So Charles Jr., CJ, that's who I am. And if you're out there and you want to call me CJ, we can be friends. I might even be your family.
So Charles is a DJ. He's a very talented individual.
I still have this donut.
He's a singer. You just eat the donut. I need to know if you
fingertips are getting moist.
You go ahead and do that. I'm going to finish introducing you. So he's also a very talented singer, and he is the proud owner of some baby chickens right now. So if you won't hear them, but there's live chickens in this studio basement right now.
He said, "I don't want it."
So we're going to welcome Charles here. As always, folks, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. So as you're watching this, if you're watching on your phone, just go ahead and hit the button. Just go boop, like, and then just go boop, subscribe. Just boop. It's that simple. If you're watching from your computer, you just mouse on over to that like button and just go, and then you mouse down and just go subscribe. You know,
like this podcast if you like Sprite. Like this podcast if you like pumpkin spice.
Hey!
If you need to quench your thirst and get that pumpkin spice taste off of your palate, grab an ice cold Sprite. This one came from a Chipotle. It's in a glass bottle. That automatically makes it better.
A glass bottle always makes it look fancier. Real quick, before we get into comments, I do want to give a shout out. So we have gotten our first orders of stickers that we're sending out now.
Yeah. You know, and before we even give out shout outs for that, I realized I've been saying buy our merch or buy our stickers. We've never said how to get them.
That makes it difficult.
So like, if you, I mean, you could ask, but
it's because you're so demanding.
The easiest way to buy our stickers, the easiest way to buy our merch and buy our stickers is literally say, "Can I buy some stickers?" And we will personally hand them to you right there in exchange for $5. So you can save some money on shipping. If you see us in person, we always have them on us.
And I will also say, I think we have not officially announced it yet, but it is up and running. We do have a website now.
Boom.
Yes. So we will insert the website handle because I'm going to mess it up. Link below.
Isn't it THY? That's how you feel show.com? That's how you feel show.com.
That's how you feel.
And then if you go on there, we have a shop section and the stickers are listed under there. We got our first 2 orders. So
they are typically $10, but they're on sale now for $5.
Yeah.
Let's see if he was telling the truth. He says that he always has them on him. Caleb, I have a sticker.
Yeah, he does. Where is it at?
Bro, like they're they're somewhere like right.
Where's your bag?
Oh, they're right there. So they're always on our person.
I don't believe.
So yeah, you can get them on our website, or if you see us out in the wild.
You know,
I too have stickers.
Actually,
right there.
Boom. Boom. So yeah, thanks for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing.
Gang.
Those are our beautiful stickers. Please get them. They are, I want to say waterproof because like I put mine on a cup and I've been washing the cup and it stays on there. It doesn't.
I have one on Julia's car, the one with the QR code, and it's been through storms and everything. It still looks great.
Yeah, these are durable. This is high quality stuff.
Yeah. So they originally were $20, but they're on sale for $5 right now. So
let's get into some comments.
Boy, you are. Listen, you. Oh.
Or did you want to do the other thing first?
This right is making me gassy. I do have to burp, so I'm going to step away from the microphone.
Didn't shout. I just wanted to shout out to our first,
2 orders?
Yeah, Taylor and Taylor Degman. And Mr. DeMont Collins.
Thank you. Thank you for being our first 2 customers.
No.
Appreciate you.
We do appreciate the support. And like I said, if you want to buy some stickers, we do have some hats we're working on with some leather patches.
That's where I'm at. Let me get the hat.
Look at that. I'll show you the patches. We have them upstairs so you can help pick them out.
I'll model it for the website. I got a hat.
There we go.
I got a hat.
And then koozies. We're going to have some little koozies. I know that's just something small, but they also have some beanies. And then we have some shirts we're working on. So, I guess, needless to say, there's lots to come, but don't sleep on the stickers because they're pretty nice.
Yeah. Cool plan.
All right. Come on, Caleb.
Oh, the comments?
Let's go to the comments.
Actually, before we even get to the comments, this is about to be a long episode.
It is.
This is the dumbest thing I'm about to say. I had a celebrity moment. So I met
Caleb is a celebrity, and this is the story he's about to tell you.
I know the one you're going to tell, so I'm gonna do this one. So I'm gonna give us a little celebrity moment. I met a beautiful individual on Sunday by the name of Corinne, and I said I had seen her around, and I knew her name because people had like talked about it. I'm like, oh, that's Corinne. I had never like introduced myself, so she was standing there talking to some friends, and I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, I'm Caleb." She says, "Hey, I'm Corinne. I love your show." I was just like, gosh. It always surprises me when anybody watches the show or anybody like even tells me they watch the show. She's like, I'm a fan of your podcast. I was like, oh my goodness. Cause we had never met. So I didn't think that she had like would watch the show or anything.
It's impressive.
So. Yeah. Well, and my cousin Nikki was at church Sunday and you were telling me to come here, or I pointed you out or something. She said, "Oh, that's the famous podcast guy." And she said, "I remember." He said, "I want to be famous."
All right, so let's mark this time code. I want to be at the live show. I want to be at the first live show. I will host your first live show.
You have to have the whole get up. We're gonna get you one of those Bob Barker mics.
The live show.
But also, I will say another really cool thing. I got invited to the cookout, y'all. We knew it was coming. But the cookout was at Caleb's house. I made the mac and cheese. People liked it, I think.
Oh, I was invited too. I was invited also.
Was he?
Yeah. He was.
Okay, I was like, this is really awkward if he wasn't.
I thought this was a thematic cookout that you were talking about.
No, I was really invited.
And then I realized, there was.
But Michaela,
cookout.
Yeah, but Michaela, you may remember her. She's been on multiple times now.
I thought she was a pundit for a second. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, she's dope. But her best friend was in town from Topeka, which I thought I was her best friend, but whatever. Just kidding. So she walks in, Michaela, and then her friend walks in, and I don't remember exactly what she said to you, but she's like, oh, wait, you're the podcast guys or something like that. And Kayla was like, what? Hey!
Yeah, I blushed.
It was really cool. She was like super excited. But I will also plug her. She has a podcast of her own. It's called Behind This Spotlight. And so it's really cool. So check her out. Her name is Danielle. She also, I think, helps with this conference called Rise and Thrive, which just happened. I know Michaela.
Rise and Thrive.
I knew the name.
Crossover episode.
Actually, she wants to come on.
Yeah, our podcast is doing big things. So let's get into some comments from old episodes.
All right. Well, I want to say, do we save the one that he did?
Let's get his out the way.
Okay, so
yeah, just
I saved this. I saved this because I thought it was really a good feedback.
What is it?
So Charles Jr. had commented. This is Mr. Charles Jr.
Hello.
And I believe this was on the episode about fake friends. And he said, question, when did you tell them they were a bad friend? Confrontation is uncomfortable but effective. It creates some kind of change, new guidelines. How long until we communicate? So I thought that was a really good question.
When dealing with bad friends?
Yeah.
If someone's being a bad friend and I recognize they're being a bad friend, I remove myself from that person's life. Like I will lessen the amount of space or lessen the amount of time and attention that I give this person.
Do you ever allow yourself to or maybe for yourself or for them, but to have a conversation?
If they notice, then yes, but that actually has never been that's never happened. Where I distance myself from someone and they're like, hey, we haven't talked in a while or whatever. And usually it's just because I'm probably upset with them in that moment and just distance will go, okay, I can get over it with that distance. But I mean, there has been people that I've cut off and then they just haven't come back around and I'm okay with that. But if they ask me, hey, we haven't talked or hung out, why? I'd be happy to tell them.
Yeah. Well, but would you feel like you would handle it in a good, those are the birds. Yeah. A good, respectable manner? Or do you think you come out with it abrasive and angry?
Well, I hope that I can always, when I speak to people, not be abrasive. So because it's been so long, I feel like I would be able to speak to somebody without having. I always say is there pain attached to the memory? Is there pain attached to the person? And if there's not, then yeah, I can speak to them very calm and very collected with hey, these are the things this is what I find unsatisfactory about you. So
I'd rather talk to someone once I've calmed down and processed it because let me be mad for a minute. It's not now if I'm going 10 years and I'm still mad. Granted, even
it's you now.
Yeah,
this is
but
great
I will say
this is great how we're talking about how we communicate with people.
I know it's funny. We should make that our topic today.
We should talk about communication.
Let's do that.
We should communicate about communication.
We're gonna change it up here in a second.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about that.
I want to push on that because that question wasn't rhetorical.
I did answer the question.
Have you considered this in that same scenario? You distance.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered that sometimes when you create that distance and they don't re-engage, that your distance created the same exact reaction that you gave them? I'm noticing something I don't like, I'm going to create distance. That distance made them feel away. Then they created their own distance and then they never re-engage because there was a lack of verbal communication of, hey, this is a thing that I would like to address. We can either resolve it or I need to put it out there because there's always an opportunity to give someone the chance to make a correction. You can't always make a decision if you don't have enough data.
Mm-hmm.
So that piece of data could have been vital in some of those relationships that maybe never re-engaged, even the ones that did over time or the ones where you reinitiated it. So have you considered?
I would want to have even if it's someone I haven't been friends with for years, if it ever came up where we could have a conversation. One, because I think it's good feedback of maybe there's things I could have done differently, but also this is where I was coming from. I've moved past it. I've grown from it. Like, I don't need to go back to it. But, like, I think it's good to also look back on yourself and say, like, hey, what could I have done differently?
Well, not even that. What if they just didn't know? Like, hey,
Yeah.
some people are stupid.
Wow.
Because of their lack of knowledge at the time.
He said it.
Be that as it may, no malice. You was dumb for a little bit. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes just offering up like, yo, I don't like that. Here's why. Can we just not ever do that again?
Yeah. I will say for me and my past experiences, I know that I have had conversations. Granted, again, I'd have to be frustrated for a minute and I'd have to calm down. And to the point we talked, like I was still frustrated, but at the same time able to have a like sane conversation. Nothing changed from that.
Right.
Multiple times. And so it was multiple times to the point where it now has gone where like we just don't, neither of us really talk about what ended everything. Mm-hmm. I would love to someday have that conversation, you know, because I hold love for everyone, no matter what. You could be my worst enemy and look at me with a tear in your eye and my heart will go to you instantly. I hate it and love it at the same time. But I do know, like, after many times, I do know there's a point where, you know, it's okay to move on. And I know that both of us are for the better.
Yeah.
Because I know I was holding bitterness inside. And so that came across in my actions.
Right. Communication is an interesting thing. And that level of uncomfortableness is something that most people don't want to deal with.
I agree. I tend to run away from confrontation or communication more so, but we'll get back to communication. Yeah. So I think that's a great topic. I'm going to type in some questions real quick while Caleb, you want to read the next this next comment. Hold up. This is the username I was talking about. If you so childish that this is your dang username, you ain't got no profile pics. When you go to your little page, you ain't got nothing. Psh, go away. Hate is gonna hate.
So am I reading the comment?
Go ahead.
All right. So Levi was talking about his favorite MCU moment, and that was like I think you were talking about the portal scene.
The portal scene when
no. You were talking about the Spider-Man scene.
The three Spider-Mans when they all came together.
And we had a comment from your mom 9.9.9, and it said stop posting. Thought that was great.
With prayer hands and two fires.
Prayer hands, love it.
But then it followed up.
And then he said, "Are you dumb?" Because you were talking about how you had believed that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were not going to be in the Spider movie, and you said they had fooled everybody. And this guy says, "Are you dumb? Everybody knew they were going to be in the movie. It's known as one of the worst secrets ever kept."
Which is not actually factual.
That is untrue. I knew none of this.
Thank you.
Not vital to that story, but
yeah.
Your mom 9.9.9. He's not dumb. You're dumb.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I put that in print, baby.
In your face.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah. No, but honestly, I did think that the comment was dumb because,
hey, that's just how he feels. Okay?
That is how he feels, but sometimes that's not valid. Anyways, next comment.
All right, so and this is another one from the MCU episode. Brinkley was talking about, we had asked the question about what representation do we feel is missing from the MCU, and she was saying people with disabilities, someone with like maybe a physical disability. And this comment comes from C Sparks 1002. They just let anyone have a podcast nowadays, huh?
Yes, they do. Yep.
Actually, yes. And you, sir?
You can start your own. C Sparks.
Start your podcast. I will make you a Gmail tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight. I will be your first and fifth guest. Let's do this.
Oh, man. It's another one about that little that reel was, they said, you mean literally any of the mutants. And I was like, oh, that's a point. That's a good point.
It is kind of a point, but also...
Is a mutation a disability?
Yes.
But I think she was referencing, and I think this would be really cool, like someone with autism as a superhero. Mm-hmm. That's what she was specific. Or
Don't they all got autism, though?
I mean, we all got a little tism somewhere.
And so another commenter, this was Yo Oper Gamer 1871. Nope, dumb idea.
I do want to get to the point in this podcast where we have so many hate comments. Like we get the ones where it's like where they read the mean tweets, and so we do like a little bit where
you are well on your way.
Yeah, I
started off. The guy that said nope. He probably got a disability.
We obviously pick these comments. I like the ones.
And ain't nothing wrong with you having a disability.
No.
I'm sure you have one though.
No, I mean,
I have one.
I like the comments that are a little mean, that are a little like, sometimes these are just mean spirited, but sometimes they're mean because they're like, hey, this is a bad part of the episode, or I'm
spirited and I mean it.
Yeah. So, those, as always, hey, even if they're not very nice, thank you for commenting, even if they're not the nicest. So I appreciate it. I like them all.
No, I do too. I think it's great. You're gonna get comments every which way when you put yourself out there. I love the ones that have feedback. I love the ones that hate on us because hate is gonna hate, and I love the good ones.
How do you feel about mine? Because they are,
I like
really
yours.
In the moment.
I like yours.
Oh, I don't even read yours.
I know you don't.
I'm
sure you don't read them, and Levi tells you what I said.
Oh yeah. So it's not. It's let's get into the question of the day.
Question of the day.
No, gosh, I hate that we have that little bumper thing with that audio
that you asked for.
I did ask for it, and I'm hating.
Question of the day. No. Anyways, window or aisle seat on the plane?
I used to be a window seat king. I used to love the window seat. Now, give me that aisle. Like, I like the aisle seat. Like, because then I can kind of like stick a leg out or something, or I don't know. Like,
you don't fly first class?
Not yet.
Man,
first class is a scam. I haven't been in one that's worth it at all.
He's lying.
I'll let you on our private.
Those bigger seats.
That's how you feel on private jet.
You got a jet? Is it black?
I flew Delta Comfort Plus one, and I was like, oh, I can never go back to basic. Oh.
I've never upgraded to like the bigger, comfier chairs.
Oh man!
But
I will say, the chair's a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah,
fine, but you're in the same cabin with all the same.
Doesn't matter.
People.
That's
but I think
on Southwest. I can sit in the front.
That seat and
I
leg
used
room.
to be able to before they did this assigned seating situation.
Yeah. So what about you, Levi? Window or aisle seat?
I would say window. One, I like to see the views, but I will always fall asleep on a plane. I mean,
when you do the window, is that window open or closed?
It's closed until we start to. Well, it's okay for landing and for takeoff and landing. It's open.
Time of day.
It's closed, and then I'll like open it randomly. But I don't like all that light coming in.
If it's nighttime.
Yeah, if it's nighttime, it's fine. But I like the window because the aisle. I used to like the aisle because you could put your foot out. Well, then when I would pass out on the planes, I'd fall like this, and then people.
He has no control.
The car would like hit my legs and my elbow, And with the window, I can kind of like lean against the window, and I don't really get up to go to the bathroom on planes.
I do now, which is I'm not here for it, but those bathrooms are teeny. Charles, window or aisle seat?
I am an aisle seat. When I was a young lad, I was dumb. So I'm aisle seat unless there is nobody in my row. Then yeah, I'm window.
Oh yeah, because then you can like kind of like lean out and kick up.
I will tell you, the flights.
I would treat that thing like a Greyhound in a heartbeat.
When you have a seat empty next to you, I'm like,
that's the most luxurious thing in the world.
It is. I'm like,
I'll see with
today.
the partner on the window. If I got a buddy on the window, and then we got this middle situation, it's the catch-all, it's the extra pillow. Let me go ahead and throw my bag here. I need to get to my food.
This isn't one of the questions, but when you get down, do you respect the people? We've talked about this a little bit on the podcast before. Do you respect the people around you, or do you just sit down and you don't care and you're like, I got the armrest?
You pick one. And if you're in the middle, the right armrest is yours.
See, that's not been my experience. Every time
I will rock, paper, scissors the people that are around me for the armrest. I'm like, all right, hey, let's rock, paper.
I'll throat punch them.
Aisle seat, you got the aisle seat, you got that armrest. That's yours.
And so the one next to you is not yours.
No, that's middle seats out.
So does the middle seat get both armrests?
They can either get both, or window guy gets both.
Well,
you
maybe
get the window.
TSA needs to put this in their information because every time I go,
how do we feel about the exit row though?
The what?
The exit row. Because window on the exit row, that's different living.
I've never actually sat in the exit row.
I don't care. I want it for the extra leg room.
The leg room is.
Oh, I do love leg room.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, and say we got the front row, I think, of a plane.
Last time I had a front row, it was me, 120-pound pit bull, and some little girl. It was great. She had anxiety.
We're going to get to this topic here eventually, folks.
Next question. And I think this one came from you, CJ, right?
No, it was mine.
Oh.
Because I was thinking about your hair.
Yeah,
my hair?
Yeah, because you have a good head of hair. I feel like I also have a decent head of hair. And so like
Decent.
I have nightmares sometimes about like my hair just like falling out. And so I always wonder, like, if you start to go bald, like, what are you doing? Like, are you gonna like just rock it until like you have like that cul-de-sac look, or if you have like the receding hairline back here? Like, what would you do if you like noticeably started to go bald?
We are in the 21st century, and they make those little hair pieces that
beast.
glue down.
You gonna get you a man unit?
Listen, this hairstyle gonna be rocking for days. That, or I will start, and I have been wearing more hats lately, but I will just start wearing more hats.
You do know that the hats is part of the cause.
Yeah.
I haven't worn hats till recently, so
you good then.
yeah. I use a lot of product in my hair though. And I talked about this about perms. That's why I get a perm, which, yes, I know that's damaging too. But then I can go months with
if you do it in the right increments,
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
I go, months without having to put all that hairspray up in there. So, yeah,
I want you to go bald now, just so I can
No,
just
I
so
fear-
that I can know you'd have like a little toupee.
I will
or
tell
man.
you, I will say weekly, I at least look at my line. I'm like, did it go farther back? Like, am I losing hair? Do I have a receding hairline?
No, you're past.
I have a little dimple.
You're past like 30, so I think you'll have hair the rest of your life.
Oh, thank God.
It'll thin, but you'll have a head of hair the rest of your
Okay,
life.
because I have this little thing that I always measure, like where the hair's at.
You're doing too much.
that's a lot. That's
Which was kind of funny because I was thinking about you too, because you had dreadlocks. Like,
Oh, I'm bald by choice.
right, I knew it. You're bald by choice. Like, you're not.
However, I knew at some point I probably would thin, and there was a little bit of a recession, but like I can grow hair.
Okay.
Like,
Because we were looking at some of these pictures, and I showed my wife some of these photos, and she was like, "Who is that?" I was like, "This is Charles." She's like, "No, it's not." I was like, "That's
My
CJ."
favorite photo
Through
is
the years.
the Johnny Bravo hair.
that was my favorite. I figured out that I was like, I can do this.
Did you wear that like in public?
Yes, I rock that all the time.
Oh, jeez.
That's a
Like,
choice.
all I gotta do is tie it up.
Listen,
just
that's
tie
a
it up.
choice, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, throw that
But
front
honestly,
pompadour up, baby. With a
CJ's
basket
got
weave in
really.
the
I
back.
will give him props. He's got some really good style, and you can rock things that if I put on my body, they would send me straight to.
I do not care for his cowboy boots because he does not have a horse near him.
You don't need a horse to wear cowboy
You need a
boots.
horse. That's my opinion. This is how I feel about it. If you're gonna have cowboy boots on, you should have a horse.
I will say that we are going to invest in donkeys. That's right, Kayla. We are investing in donkeys.
All right. Next question. Okay, Levi.
Mammoth donkey and a
I
mini
need you to
or
be honest
standard.
about yourself in this question. How many bites could you finish a regular burger in, like if nobody was like looking, and you had a second burger? Like, how many bites could you just take out of a burger?
If I just want to finish it real quick, 3.
It's not about wanting to finish it, but like if you ate it without thinking, people were gonna look at you and go, "Did you taste it?"
okay.
Like, I hate people that do that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would say probably 5, 6.
Okay, you're not fun. I was thinking about. I think I could finish like a regular 3 bites. Like, you take.
Well,
the
no, that's
one,
what I said.
Boom, and then the other, like the rest is just.
I mean, I
Yeah.
take big bites, but like if I'm like trying to eat it so like I can not look like I'm eating too much, 3 bites is gone.
Let me tell you something. I don't care what I look like because ain't nobody going to tell me about how I look while I'm eating. It's primal.
So your spouse.
I'm
never
trying
go-
to feed.
Your spouse never
myself.
goes, "Did you taste it? You inhaled it."
No, because she's married to me. She know what it is.
I got that all the time growing up. It did annoy me.
What
Did
she
you
had to
taste
find
it?
out and like adjust for is the way I feel about my food. There's an inherent protection that I have since relinquished because I now have 3 children. I don't share food.
Oh, that's Caleb. He didn't
not
talk to
sure.
his wife.
I am giving. I will get you a plate of food, but like I don't like the reach over. I don't like the
Oh
lemon.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You wouldn't,
Okay,
you would-
let me tell you
You
the
wouldn't
story.
survive at my family function.
Yeah,
Story
like
time.
I will offer food. I offered my son, like I was eating some watermelon today, and I was like, and my son walks up to me and he's like,
Your son didn't walk up to
okay,
you.
he was standing and like he's like using like rails. And
You're
stuff to-
getting 0 points for offering your son,
Who is
did not walk up to you.
9
No,
months?
He's not. I promise you, he.
I offered my son some food, but my wife ate a piece of toast off my plate one time. I didn't talk to her for 2 days.
Don't.
Oh,
take
for
my-
years she was the only one I would share food with.
Sorry.
Anyway, so
Anyway,
yeah,
say your story.
I had some watermelon, and my son is like looking at me, and I'm like, You want a piece? And like he was on his 2 feet. He was using like my legs like to like saddle up to me and
I will tell you, get used to that. Yeah. The kids are mooches.
I offered, but like if it was mine,
they're mooches. They will anytime sometimes we have to hide in the pantry just to eat food by ourselves.
Your daughter, when I was eating chicken one day, she was like, "Brooklyn bite." I was like, "No, this is my food." She's like, "Brooklyn bite." I was like,
and then you gave her a bite.
Did you succumb to the peer pressure?
What?
I gave her a bite.
He made it happen. Like
I gave her a bite.
Silly man.
Yeah,
silly man.
We're gonna get to this topic though soon.
We're gonna skip that next question because are we doing homework
for your kids? There's a thing.
Like, I ain't going back to school.
No, there's a thing that I'm seeing like parents post about like how they're not letting their kids do homework. Like if you send your kid, like my kid, home with homework, we're not doing it. And I'm like,
whoever weird. You are, keep that junk to yourself. That is asinine.
That's diabolical.
So
it's
like
just not clever.
So when your kids get sent home with homework, they're doing homework. Like, do your homework.
My kids do homework all the
time. Bruh, I had to do it when I was a kid.
My kids are homeschooled. They will always do homework.
Okay, never mind.
No, but real,
also,
like,
yes.
Why? I mean, that teaches them responsibility
and application.
Yeah.
Take what you learned in the classroom or what you potentially should have learned.
Some people apply it to this paper and not about it.
Some people be trifling. Charles had a segment idea of would you wear this? Did you watch that video?
I sure didn't.
Okay, so it's this guy Wisdom K, and it basically the hot take. His style choices are out there. The hot take was that flare pants on men are a terrible fashion choice, and so his question is, would you wear it? So like, would you wear flare pants? And do I need to show you a picture?
Oh, I'm seeing the video right now, and I would not.
Me neither.
Again, Wisdom K is on the biggest end of the spectrum, high fashion, but he can make an outfit from anything. So a lot of what his content is, hey, style X, Y, and Z. Somebody recently said style the world. So he made outfits based on different countries because the Olympics was happening. He's styled different Marvel characters, anime characters. He can do it all.
See, also, I feel like he's an artist.
He is. He's an artist, and he's kind of a model, sort of, but his proportion. He's not a traditional model because he's bigger than all of them, but he's a style. Like he is an artist, and people just send him clothes apparently because the clothes he had cost so much money. So he'll make $100 outfit, he'll make $100,000 outfit, and then he'll make like a $80,000 outfit or something like that. Like,
well, I will say with the flare pants. Like that's something I could see. I feel like I've seen you in flare pants.
Oh, the wardrobe is rolling over to all of that.
Okay, well, I
just got a new
personally, I would not wear it, but I think if some people can pull it off, and if you can rock something with confidence, that's the biggest key. Because if you're wearing something and you're not confident in it, it's not really going to work anyways. So I think as long as you have the confidence in it, then
yeah. I am all
like David, my brother David sent me like one of his videos about like, hey, this is fashion or whatever, and I was like, no, that's trash, bro.
I think there is like there are times where I want to. Well, I stick to the same thing.
You could just throw something you feel good about. You if you own it, it doesn't matter.
That's true. If you own it, if you rock it with confidence, we do need to keep going though because we are killing the time, and our producer is gonna fight us. So I'm gonna just our last question of the day. We had too many questions of the day this time, Caleb.
We didn't have to do them.
Well, we're already at the end.
All right, what's up?
There's a picture that you put in here. There's 9 pizzas.
Oh, keep 4, cut 5.
Yeah, this was easy for me.
Was it?
Yeah. So the options for everyone that's listening is pepperoni, meat lovers, veggie, Hawaiian, mac and cheese, barbecue chicken, cheeseburger, bacon ranch, and cookie.
All right, let me tell you what I'm cutting. Right off Jump Street, I'm cutting veggie.
Oh, for sure.
Veggie's out of here. I'm also cutting Hawaiian.
Yep.
Hawaiian's out of here too. Honestly, I'm cutting pepperoni.
Really?
I would cut pepperoni. It's the basic one. It's a staple. And the last one I would cut, I got veggie, Hawaiian, pepperoni.
No, you got to cut 5.
Okay, let barbecue chicken's out of here.
Why don't you just say the ones you would keep?
And then also let me go ahead and cut mac and cheese. So yeah, that's 5. Pepperoni, Hawaiian, mac and
So
cheese,
you're
barbecue.
keeping meat lovers,
Yep.
cookie, and cheeseburger.
Gotta
and
keep a cookie pizza.
bacon ranch.
Yep.
Okay.
Gotta
mine-
keep that ranch.
The ranch. I actually didn't keep that one. It was a toss up between that one and barbecue chicken. But
Which one are you keeping?
I kept pepperoni, mac and cheese,
Ugh.
cheeseburger, and barbecue chicken.
Oh, you cut the good ones. You cut meat lovers.
I'd rather have pepperoni than meat lovers.
Oof, mistake.
What about you, Charles?
I'm keeping pepperoni, meat lovers, mac and cheese, and cookie.
There we go. Gotta keep the cookie, man. Because you need
No.
If I want a cheeseburger,
sweet.
I
You
can
need
eat
something
cheeseburger.
sweet.
The reason why I love like
Savory.
cookie cakes, but from any pizza place, I never really liked their cookies.
they're so
I
good.
didn't specify pizza
I know,
place,
but-
I'll take that from a grocery store.
That's true.
Those
I would do
cookie
that.
cakes?
Yes, those are
Hey,
good.
one with whipped icing, not that thick stuff, especially not
Buttercream.
purple ice cream.
Yeah, no.
Or
Okay.
icing, not ice cream, but yeah.
Yeah, buttercream icing is nasty.
You'll have to communicate that to them next time.
All right, communication. That's the topic of the day, folks. Communication.
It's a nice transition. I like that.
Now, if the rest of the episode sucks, it's Charles's fault. This was his idea.
Caleb wrote most of the questions.
I don't think I did. Let me just tell you a story. Like, to jump into this communication, I was telling my spouse I'm gonna go to Costco, and what she said was that kiwis are on sale, and I said okay. Now I need y'all to tell me if I'm wrong if I don't buy kiwis. Julia's nodding. Yes, I'm wrong.
You're not just wrong because you didn't buy kiwis. You're wrong because you didn't qualify that statement with clarity.
Look,
And by you telling me that this is on sale, would you like some? Because she's at fault too.
oh,
Would
that's
you
the
like
point.
some?
She's at fault. And so here's the thing. I did buy I did buy the kiwis because before I left the house, we're standing there in the kitchen. She's like, hey, kiwis are on sale. And I said to her, what you mean to say is, can you buy kiwis? And she's like, well, yeah. And I was like,
Why you gotta have that energy with her?
no, because.
And what you could have said is,
No.
would you like me to get some? Or
Yeah, like
how
they-
many would you like?
I would love to get you some. How many would you like?
Well, they're in a box.
Be kind to your spouse.
Hey, look, don't be coming at me with this bad. I thought, I'm telling this story on the podcast. That's bad communication right there.
It
Kiwis
is.
are on sale.
Yeah, on your part.
On both parts. Both y'all. Both of them.
Whatever. I think I'm a great communicator.
And therein lies the problem.
Also, since you brought that up, at the cookout, I was helping set up the whole setup for Caleb. So I go to the fridge. I pull out the ketchup. There's not much. Pull out the mustard. Ooh, okay. Pull out the mayonnaise. We're going to be licking the bottle just to get some. So then
Ain't
I
nobody
was
licking
like,
no mayonnaise bottle.
I finally went to
Aldi.
I went to Emily and I was like, hey, do you guys have some extra mayonnaise or anything? And she said, I told Caleb to get some at the store today. He was supposed to grab some. He had went to Costco that day. So I went up to Caleb and I
Let's
said,
focus on the kiwis.
That's fixation.
I said, hey, do you have more mustard cuts? She said, no, it's in the fridge. I said, no, it ain't. The one I got barely. So anyways, I had to go to Aldi's. So he don't listen to his wife, whether she tells him exactly or she beats around the bush. So you can't win with him.
Make a list. Check that list off.
Are you good at texting?
No, I'm absolutely terrible at it.
You are terrible at it. I will say that. No, actually, with me, I think you're pretty decent.
I will say with you, I'm probably you and my wife. I'm probably the best at.
I want to be, but I end up texting like a conversation would happen, and then I'll have some fire coming, and then I will misspell something, and I'll get so mad.
So
I hit the edit, and it's, dang it.
Well, I think he was saying like, are you a good like?
Can I communicate well through text?
No.
Will you text back?
Oh, yes.
Like, are you a good person to respond that responds to texts?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's stay there for a second. All of you who are looking at this on your device of choice to communicate as well as view this beautiful podcast, if someone texts you and maybe you even responded to them quickly the first time, what happens to your phone in the time when they respond back? Did you throw it across the room? Did it incinerate itself? Where did you go? What portal did you fall into? And how long were you in the upside down? What is wrong with you? Especially everybody on Marketplace. I want it. I want it. What is going on? It's a mobile device. Take it with you. Don't start a conversation.
I was about to show him how many like texts I have.
Oh,
unread.
Levi.
Do you want to see the number?
Brother, those are email numbers. He got a spam folder as his message app.
It's
3 digits in the red.
getting close to 4 digits. But it's because I don't like.
You can just delete them.
I know I'm terrible at it.
No. Just go to settings and start over.
You need to go select
You don't
all
care about
and
those
just-
messages.
I do.
You don't care about
I
them,
hoard messages,
but you don't care. You're just trying to guess what the message was about for the preview.
You need your butt whipped for that. All right, well, let's get into something a little bit more serious. Charles,
Levi be like, oh, I got a text.
most of the time.
you know what he'll do? He'll probably type out the response and then just lock his phone and just.
No, most of the time, like
Oh, those people are the worst. You start typing and the ellipses
That-
get going and then they quit on you.
That text
I
bubble.
know. And then you're like, oh, what did I? Anyways,
Ellipses.
most of the time I am in the middle of something when someone's texting me, and so I'll see the text and I will mean to respond to it, and then I'll get something busy with work. Because especially my work day, that's where it happens the most. I am go, and so yeah.
I need to get you
What's
out.
the next
Need your
question,
butt
Caleb?
Whipped. Charles, actually, this is one for Charles. He said, "What have you said that you shouldn't have said?" First of all, everything. There are several things that I've said that
I would say for you, what you mean to say is, can you get me some kiwis?
It's a very fast example.
That's very
That was an efficient.
I do get a kick out of like telling y'all my stories of my interactions with my spouse, because as much as I want y'all to be on my side, y'all are never on my side about anything that I do.
I want her to box you.
Huh?
I want her to box you.
Do you say nice things to her?
She is, yeah, I do. But she is honestly, she is so mentally strong that like when I try to like do that, she's just like,
So you just
Yeah,
test
she
her.
got to act right. Look.
what if I'm really like going off the rails with like talking to her, like she'll wait for me to finish and catch a breath, and she goes, "Are you done?" And I'm like,
I am now. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I am.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
"Oh man," because then I'll be like, "I'm just getting warmed up." Then she was just like, "All right, I'm not gonna talk to you right now." I'm just like, "No."
So mine is, I'm sorry.
What have you said that you shouldn't have? You shouldn't have apologized. That's right. Don't apologize to your spouse. You didn't do nothing wrong.
Oh, I
Not
wasn't
just to
talking
your
to my
spouse.
spouse.
Just
in general. But you right. Hey. No, I'm kidding. My wife's in the room.
So you're saying you said sorry when you shouldn't have said
I say
sorry.
sorry way too much first off.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, and there are times where I will say I'm sorry when I know that I'm really not sorry, but just to appease the other person, I will just say, you know what, I'm sorry.
You say sorry a lot in Fortnite too.
I heard an interesting perspective on I'm sorry. And it was one of those parenting type situations where they said, don't say sorry, because the gist of it was it perpetuates shaming. So when you're saying I'm sorry, the other person is supposed to get something, and it kind of positions them over you. You're like, yeah, you should be sorry. I deserve better than that. You're shamed for doing the deed that you did, instead of the actual thing that we're wanting is changed behavior. I also used to just not say sorry because I'm often not sorry for what happened. I don't like that it might have led us that way, but I did everything I did on purpose. So I don't apologize for my actions, but I can apologize for not having better actions, or
Like a better
I didn't have any
response.
bad intentions from what so I used to have this thing where like, I'm not saying sorry if I'm not sorry. I'm
See,
not
and
sorry.
I've been the opposite.
But
my
what if
whole
you're
life.
what if you're like teasing a friend like in love, and then they come to you and like, hey, what you said actually like low key hurt my feelings.
Man, thank you for telling me. I won't do that anymore.
You're not sorry.
No.
That's kind of an apology in itself, though, without saying I'm sorry. And
it's an agreement to change behavior. Like, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Okay. Now I know if I'm to do it again, I'm just being disrespectful.
I actually like that. And I feel like maybe more people, because everyone nowadays, they get offended by everything. I mean, you could look the wrong way.
It is easy to get offended. You can get in an offended loop.
Yeah.
Like, once you start being offended by something, other stuff will start triggering you to be offended.
I think that's where this world's at right now.
So that mindset, I think, is very beautiful. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I won't do that again. Like, I think that might be more valuable to me than I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're trying to instill in children? Because a lot of children, when they misbehave, it's like, oh, say you're sorry. Like, you know, like, is that, are you trying to translate that to your children as well?
I'm trying to, and I'm trying to catch myself by say I'm sorry. No. Go find out if they're okay, and don't do that again. Here's how we handle this situation. Mm-hmm. And I want them to grow into that, because I don't want a bunch of kids that are just saying, oh, sorry. Because like my oldest does that sometimes, but then she'll like do it to us and like, oh, it's like an eggshell type of thing. Like, oh, I didn't mean to disappoint you. Nah, you're not disappointing me. There are things that you can do to get closer to the right action. And there's things where you just mess up, and it's fine that you messed up. Let's work on doing it the right way.
So if you know you truly messed up, or like you were in the wrong, would you just say like, you know, I'm sorry? Like, would you say I'm sorry at all? Like, I'm sorry I messed up, or that's
I don't really want to. So I'm not gonna just pretend I never say the words I'm sorry. I'm trying to get out of that habit and using that as a fall into, like, that's not the best type of saying I'm sorry and then apologizing. It's kind of now two different things. My goal is to be able to hear you. Like, okay, I want you to know that I have received what you have said, and I can own the position that we're at. My struggle, though, is if the perspectives are off, and that's not exactly how I perceived it to happen, I have a problem not telling you that. But I am getting to the point where I've been able to say, okay, I can see how that has affected you. I didn't want that to happen, and I won't do that again, because it's not going to hurt me to not do that again. And where I have a learning curve is, okay, how do I translate into not explaining what my intentions were? Because oftentimes what I'm finding is no one cares, unless they implicitly ask, why did you do that? What were you thinking? Because I will offer that up just because in my head, the way I process things is, okay, I see that this has impacted you in a negative way. I understand you having emotions about that. I don't want those emotions to continue. So let me offer you some more data, some more information that should give you a broader view of what took place here. Even though those emotions that you are having are real, but they are based on insufficient information. Let me give you the rest of it, and that should suffice you to understand how we got here. So take that with you, and hopefully that can calm down everything that's happening here. And also, I hope you know that I have meant no malice, and I'm not technically in the wrong. I'm old enough to understand that it still impacted you and affected you. So if you don't want to talk no more, that's fine. But just understand that I got to get out of saying like I didn't do nothing wrong.
If you have someone that came to you and said like, hey, this really offended me, this really hurt me, you know, and that was your response. But then that happens with a lot of things nonstop. Mm-hmm. What's your response at that point? Like, do you feel like then you can be, because I get to the point where I don't know what I can say sometimes.
Oh yeah. So you got to ask questions. And that's what I'm finding with. The not as good question is, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Would you have wanted to happen in this scenario? Do not say it with that tone. It will not be received very well. But asking more questions, even if you are sure of what the situation is, asking more questions not only benefits the conversation, but it could benefit the other person, because emotions are emotions. You might not know what you're feeling. So if someone asks you more questions about how you're feeling or how we got here or what you would have rathered in that scenario, maybe it takes some off of you trying to figure out what you should and shouldn't do. Yeah. I'm the type of person, I'll play a whole conversation in my head before it happens. Do you pregame your arguments?
Oh, yeah.
I heard a joke about
I'll be
arguments.
in the car and I'll be like running mile a minute. And then I get there and I'm like, hey, how's it going?
I heard a joke the other day about arguments. By the time you get into the argument, you're on the third argument.
Yeah, no, for real.
Because you play their side and what they gonna say. You play your side in the car, what you gonna say, and then you ready. You get in there.
Well, and what I like about what you're saying, kind of to round it up and how I took it, I think that's a really good way of respecting how other people feel. But I think a good way to look at it is if you want people to respect how you feel, you also need to respect how they feel. Mm-hmm. And that does come with communication. That does come with a conversation where nowadays, if just because someone thinks differently than you or sees differently than you, that does not mean you have to instantly not like that person or disregard anything they say. And so I think that we have come into a time in this generation where so many people will read the book cover and say, I'm gone, don't like that person, and even maybe badmouth them, and they've never even met or talked to that person.
I think God used to do a funny thing with me when I was younger. I would be in scenarios with groups of kids or whatever, summer camp or at church or something like that, and there'll be some person, and I either see them from afar or I see them coming towards me. In my head, I'm like, dang, I don't want to talk to them. What I really used to say, like, I'm thinking of one person in particular. I'm not going to shout you out, but
you can say Caleb's name.
He's ugly. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be around him. And then God be like, that's going to be your friend. That's going to be your homie.
That's how, listen, he hated me when we were first friends. God probably told him that's going to be your friend, and he's still hating it to this day.
I actually have a colleague that I work with. I was like, man, when I first met him, I was like, you are annoying. And just, I can't. You're so stupid. And just,
you said that to their face?
I told him, like, this is how I used to feel about you when we first met. I thought you were annoying and immature.
Like the first day you weren't like, you're annoying, you're stupid.
No. But like I would treat him that way. Like I would just, whatever, and try to get that out. That is one of my closest compadres. I did tell him that I used to think this about you.
That's funny because it was years before you told me you hated me at first?
Let's get into the next question. We should just move on and just.
I don't even know why I do this podcast anymore.
You see how smooth that phone flip was?
That's what happens when you text him. He's just.
If you need to get a hold of him, you're gonna have to send it through the mail.
Hey, you know what I have to do now? Like to get a hold of like most of my male friends, I gotta text their wives. Like if I gotta get a hold of Jason, I text Ariana. If I gotta get a hold of like somebody, I
what about Joel?
If I want to make plans with Joel, I text Cassie.
Okay.
Anybody ever just dial their number?
I would like to.
I don't like talking on the phone.
I love a phone call.
No, you don't. Every time I call you,
I will blind FaceTime you in a minute.
No.
If you don't answer, I will send you a video.
I do love a phone call, but state your business up front.
Even when I've stated my business, you've been annoyed.
You gotta have a good hook.
Oh,
you gotta have a good hook.
I'm gonna start recording our conversations.
Do you use the subject line when you're texting?
You can do that?
No.
Yes.
Wait, there's a hold on.
It's bold. I thought you were being sarcastic.
Oh no, baby.
There's a subject line in text messages?
Yes.
I didn't know this at all.
Lord.
Did you know about this?
Wait, is it what kind of? You got an Android, don't you?
Oh yeah, Android. No, that's an iPhone. That's an iPhone.
Okay.
His bubbles are blue.
I was like, and next. While he's looking up that, I do want to, just because I want to keep with the time.
Yeah.
Is there anything that some people do when communicating that really annoys you?
One thing I hate about having conversations with anybody, and this is something that y'all are ignoring me about. So,
I am.
By the way, just like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks. So one thing that I hate about like communication is this is not even like communication. This is just like when people talk to you or whatever. Like if you come up to me and say, "Oh, a little birdie told me that this about you or XYZ." My first question is, who told you?
Yes.
And if you don't tell me immediately how you found out, I am instantly incensed. Like I'm so angry.
Nah, you agree with them. If you won't tell them, tell me who said it. You have these same feelings. Like, so you are in party with them. So go be with them.
I will say
it makes me so mad. Like
I
a
know
little
that
birdie
about
told
you.
me.
I know. Well, I will never say like a little birdie, but it's even if someone comes up and be like, "Hey, I heard you got some new shoes and you hadn't told me yet."
Yeah.
That's happened before. I know you get mad. So I actually, if I know something, I just won't I won't say anything till you tell me.
Don't you dare. If I didn't share information with you and you come up to me to talk about that information, I'm angry that you know about it, and I want to know how you know about it immediately.
So for me, one of them you do a lot, and that's not listening. Caleb, you're not the best listener when you're being talked to.
I disagree.
Because you have ADD.
That's true.
And I can say that because you have said that.
You're not wrong.
But also, outside of that, granted, you still, like, you'll go back and be like, oh, what'd you say? As I'm 10 minutes in the conversation.
Now, does he do that because he really wasn't listening, or is it one of those,
he does it
oh,
often.
I'm being sarcastic?
No, it's a regular habit.
Some people have a shtick and, like, they wear it out.
No, see a video. Like,
I really want to know what you said.
He'll see a text or a video, and he'll just be like,
fixate.
And then he'll be like, oh, wait, what was...
No, so what... No, okay, so, like, I hate... Shut up! Come on.
He's doing it with his sentence. I
can't get it out.
It's like that last episode, which please put this in the record.
The lie determined that was a lie. I messed that whole thing.
Oh, Boomhauer was here.
Anyway, what I was saying is, if I'm texting and like you're like trying to talk to me, I will put I will probably either
you gotta choose.
It's one or the other. Like I'll finish my texting and I will go, what did you say? Like I'll put it down like to know that like okay now you have my full attention, or I'll just sorry what like and then.
But was that text?
So the second part
so
was
important
felt really good. Like the second part was like okay I get it, he was doing something. The first one you were annoyed and didn't want to hear what the person.
No,
said.
I really did. But
my thing is that
okay? You're not wrong. I was slightly annoyed because one, you see me texting. And you still want to talk to me, but still you keep talking, so it lets me know whatever you're saying is important.
Hold on, Caleb. There's times though, like specifically where we'll have a conversation. You'll get a text in the middle of it, start to text back. So is that text more important than finish like listening to what the person's saying, and then texting back? Or
the right answer is no, because I'm present with you, but who knows who's texting me? Could be some money on the other end of that phone. I don't know.
As a concession, I would venture to guess that sometimes a certain message, if you have a response queued and your brain is in that, there are impulses that say get it out or you won't have that.
Which, I've done that before. And there's times, I mean, I'm not going to say that.
That's not an excuse. It's still what
pot calling the kettle black. I've done that before where I'm talking and then I'm like texting, but I can multitask a little bit. Now you can't,
I can't.
But
that's where communication comes in. Hey,
the other
I'm
thing
gonna get back to you in 1 second.
That I hate when like you're talking to someone that really frustrates me is when they disregard everything you just said or talk over you the whole time. Like that drives me crazy. Like if you say something or like you say you're trying to relate to something they said and then you say it and then they just skip over everything you said. Or like you try to mention something and then they just talk over like drives me
railroad.
Crazy. Yeah.
I don't do that, but my wife has brought to my attention that I have the ability to turn a story or a comment from someone else and then take us on a different journey by my next comment. Mm-hmm. It is a sidestep to whatever we were talking about, and it is related, but I'm a storyteller, so I'm gonna go here, go here, and then I'll get back to it.
Because you're trying to relate to them.
Yes.
Isn't like talking
and those
over,
last two were not against you, but
even
like,
if they
I
were
saw your face, but they wasn't
valid things on me. Because I've been told that I talk over people, but I've heard is that that's a sign of like ADD, where like you might say a word like blue, and that like knee jerks a thought where I'm like, oh, my dog is blue, and I'm like,
actually, I did have a dog that was blue that died. We found him on the side of the road.
What I'm saying is, I think talking. I have to even in this podcast.
It was Ron's dog. Whenever we met,
it's happening.
Him.
It's happening.
It doesn't matter. Like even,
I literally just said what frustrates me, and I just did it.
No, but like
but you see how easy it is for
in the midst of the podcast, I have to personally exercise the thought of. Don't talk over Levi. Like, let him finish his thought. And then the problem comes in where you say I'm a bad listener, where I truly am just not listening. I'm waiting for you to like stop making noise so that I can say what I want to say.
Listening with the intent to respond.
But my thought is like, I'm just trying to hold to my thought.
And I get that. I will say, so I I've learned.
And I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, you're not.
I am.
Oh yeah, I recognize that about
one of the
you,
questions. I'm gonna go ahead and insert here.
I'm sorry means I'm gonna just do it again probably. So please forgive me.
One of the questions that is on this list, I'm gonna kind of insert here because it's in response to what I'm going to say. It's, are you a good listener? Which I believe I am. I do like to listen to people, and I love to give advice or to relate. But I've also learned that sometimes I give advice when advice wasn't really wanted. Sometimes people just want to get their feelings out and don't want to hear, well, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try this. And no one's ever said it directly to me, but I'm an overthinker, and I reflect a lot back on conversations and body posture and stuff. And I've realized that sometimes I need to just, instead of, because I don't like awkward silence, I need to just let them let it out and, don't try to relate to them with a type of advice of like, oh, I've been through this. Let me explain how I navigate it. I've learned that. And so trying to navigate when someone wants advice when they don't can be tricky. But if you know that person, typically you should be able to tell. Like if they're coming to you with, hey, what,
I have that same thing, but it's because I'm a fixer.
Me too.
So I'm immediately like calculating. Okay. All right. And I want to give advice, not just because you kind of need it, it's because I don't want you to have this problem anymore. I want you to want a solution.
Yeah.
I really want that because you're bringing a problem to me. I've discussed this with my spouse. How beautiful would it be if said person would just tell you what they need from that conversation ahead of time? I've actually we're practicing this in our relationship.
State your business.
State your business. Hey, I see that you're upset, but before we continue, do you want me to hear you out just so you can vent? Is this a vent? Do you need a solution or do you need a hug? Or is it a combination? I'm trying to get into a habit of asking that beforehand because my brain and my knee jerk is fix. I will listen to you because I am a data person. Let me get the information. And then the whole time I'm just calculating, populating, pop. Half of it I'm just waiting to respond. And the other half is like, okay, that's new data. Put that in there. Put that in there. And then like, all right, let it breathe. Have you considered? What about this? What did they do? What did you do? What can you control? You're right. Not everybody's the vast majority of people are not looking for that, or they don't know that they're not looking for that because they respect you. They kind of appreciate advice, but also we just need to hang on to our advice.
Yeah.
People waste advice.
Because then exactly. And when they walk away, I think sometimes they're like turned off by the conversation.
Or they weren't listening to you either.
Yeah. No, I do the same thing. I'm fixer, and that's
something that I've tried to practice when I remember to practice it is the art of letting them know that I heard them. So like if someone like explains to me or like wants to like vent or like
validate.
tell me something, I will try to make an effort to, in a sense, repeat back what they said. So what you're saying is you feel like this, or it sounds like you had a great experience doing this or whatever. And they will either affirm or deny what I've said. And that one, it lets them know Caleb's really listening.
Yeah.
I understand you. And then it gives them the opportunity to go, okay, you've heard me. And then they get to ask or not ask, what do you think I should do? Because now they know you understand them. Mm-hmm. You know where they're coming from. I when I do make the effort to remember to do that, it makes a lot of conversations smoother, and they do sometimes give me the opportunity to lend advice, and I try to be gracious with that opportunity because I know that they're asking because they value your advice. And I'm just always like, why?
And I think
I make terrible decisions.
And that's how you can tell in a conversation, because you can tell if someone's truly listening to your advice.
Validating. You do make great.
And if they're listening to your advice. And I think I know in conversations I've been giving advice and then people start to kind of shut down, I kind of like, I used to get a little offended. I'm like, I'm out here spitting, bars.
Dropping gems. Boy.
Yeah. But that's, again, maturing and realizing, you know what, hey, that's not for everyone. And you're right. Save the advice for, like You're giving out
because, and this is the message for the people who are asking for advice, but then you don't take the advice.
Yeah.
Or you're collecting data and then you do nothing at all, because not all advice means you have to do that thing. But if you came to me, you asked for some advice, we had a long conversation, you come to me 2 weeks later with the same thing, and then I ask you, well, yo, what'd you do? And then you don't say anything about what we talked about, we're going to talk about that. Because I am a proponent of, this is a terrible philosophy, not a terrible philosophy, but it's flawed, so I'm finding the flaws. Everything that happens to you is your fault because you were there. And you do have choices. Mm-hmm. Now, in this scenario where you had an issue, we talked about that thing, then that same issue comes back to me and we having the same story. Because you are my friend, I am holding you accountable to how I think you should respond to this, because I think you would expect me to have the same type of response or the fortitude to want to change or find a solution. It bothers me if you are not solution oriented or you just want to complain. Or if we are texting and we're talking about a thing and then I bring up the hole in your story where you didn't really tell me the rest of what happened, and then you move on and keep going. And then because I'm me, I bring it up again.
Circle back.
Yeah.
Let's spin the block on this. What happened here? How did we get here?
What are some icks about communication that you folks find?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. I wanted to ask kind of one last question about communication before we go to the weekly segment. What about like body language? I have one that someone brought it to my attention, and it's wildly true. And I hate that it's true, but I can't help it. I don't like to look people in the eye when I talk to them. Like
that's tough.
It's hard for me to, like, if you ever like notice if I talk to you sometimes, I'm making a conscious effort to look you guys in the eye now.
Does not like that about you.
Huh?
My wife does not like that about you.
I've never talked to your wife.
She watches you interact with me. She's like, I don't like how he does that. He's never looking at you when you're talking to him, and then he just walks away. I was like, yeah, that's just his thing, and he either thinks it's funny or like he's just got something else going on, and he's got to get out of there.
I typically don't. Sometimes I am like looking for someone else while I'm talking.
Does eye contact make you uncomfortable?
Very much so.
So
you know who? So there's
look at me.
It's been pointed out to me before. Like I was talking to CJ. I can't. I was talking to some dude, and he was like,
"Just 3 seconds.
Look at me," and I was like, "No, I can't."
Come on.
I'm sweating right now.
But that was good. You got there.
But yeah, I've been called out on not making eye contact when I talk to people. I can't. If I can look at you and talk to you, boy, you might be somebody special, because I can't do it. Like, I'm mad that your wife has said that about.
I think that's hilarious. Wild that you brought that up.
I regret it now.
I will say
It's just a thing she noticed.
I overthink eye contact, but especially because I'm a marketer, and so eye contact is huge. So it helps someone know that you're listening when you're talking to them. And so I will have conversation and I'll watch their eyes. Maybe I've noticed this with Caleb where he'll look off. It's not just Caleb, but people they'll look off and stuff. And of course, when I'm talking to you, like I'll look and they'll be like this. But if you're speaking to me, I'm trying to look at you in the eyes because I want you to know I hear what you're saying. I think it's another form of like letting you know I hear you in essence. Yeah.
I can't make eye contact with people sometimes. It's hard for me.
Yeah. That's interesting. I
I'm
just think
sorry.
It's hilarious.
No, it is intimate, and
it can be uncomfortable.
It's a tool though. It is a superpower.
I think if especially when you're having eye contact and it goes into awkward silence, that's when it gets even like that's when it's a little off.
I will sit in the burning car with you.
Yeah, see, I don't do awkward silence well. I don't. One of the questions talked about like meeting new people. I if I go into a room and I don't know people, like I'm instantly, my wife will tell you I'm on. And I will just continue to ask questions. Because one, I like to get to know people's life stories. I will ask you stories about your childhood, your middle school, high school, like everything. I want to know who you are. And that's just me because I also don't want silence because then I feel like you're bored
You
of
gotta fill the
me.
space.
I don't know. It's just that's a bad habit of mine. I
Tell
don't
me
allow
your story
silence.
face. It happens in the elevator. It happens just on the street. It happens when I'm waiting for somebody anywhere. I have tell me your whole story face. And I let you tell me your whole story.
You look them in the eyes.
Yeah, I get in there. I get in there.
So we are going to go to weekly segment. This is one. It's a quick answer for all of us before it's the last question. I want to hear what your guys's are. So it's your favorite communicators, whether that be from music, like motivational speakers, talk shows, music, whatever. Who are some of your guys' favorite communicators?
Lewis Black.
Lewis Black. Okay. You just have one
No,
that's who came to mind first.
Yeah, he came to mind first. But in general, like comedians are like some of my most favorite communicators because even sometimes they're telling jokes or they are being funny, but sometimes they're not telling jokes. They're just they happen to be funny, but they're not necessarily telling jokes. And I think that's always a good way to like communicate ideas and opinions and whatnot. Yeah. So comedians, I think,
like
are some
Fred
of the
Kennedy and
some of the best communicators.
Oh, Nate Bargatze.
That's the answer to your question.
I know. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying. I was just like, I know those are your favorite people.
So I agree with comedians. There's several of them in that list. I like the way certain people, especially intellectuals, can get a point across because they have it back here to pull forward. So Jordan Peterson is one of the people that can just do that.
Jordan Peterson.
You're about to find out because you got that phone right there. You know who Jordan Peterson is.
Maybe I've seen his face. I'll look. You have.
He talks like this, and it feels like it's really hard, and he's pretty emotional. He's Canadian. This isn't a great impression.
I'm making sure I have the right person. Oh, I do not have the right person.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay, I don't know who this is.
You guys are gonna. Peel.
Yeah. He's a good communicator also.
You goofy.
He is also a good communicator and a comedian. So that
and
tracks.
He produces.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
I think I've seen some interviews that he's done or like some clips from him. Yeah.
Yeah. Raymond Reddington. He's a character in the Blacklist. If you haven't watched the Blacklist on Netflix, I think it's like 9 seasons. Some of them are trash.
Anthony Anderson?
But no.
That's Black-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not all the same. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that delivery, that was good. No, the show is called The Blacklist. The character, Raymond Reddington, the way he communicates is outstanding. He is a most wanted criminal, and he has a knack for never answering a question directly.
Okay.
He will answer your question with a story. And that story is loosely related, but it's also got the answer to whatever your question in it. Or that story is I'm not talking about this, but these are the things that I need to get done. Yeah. And he has a way of moving people with his words. And I think that the people who have the power to do that are impressive to me. I mean, you can say Tony Robbins, like he just got a good voice on him. He got a good voice on him. People who don't do that, if you don't say and you have a stream,
I say a lot,
where you can put a pause there instead of using that word. You don't have to fill it. So I'm learning those types of strategies. But those are some of my top communicators. Also, people who can communicate well in print or in literature or written.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And the more I read the Bible, Jesus had bars, both verbally and by action.
Judy Blume.
So the ones that I have thought of that
I reject that.
that came to mind for me. We were from the Bible to Judy Blume. Steve Harvey. I've honestly.
What?
Really?
Huh?
I think the advice he gives is really good. Like,
what the hell?
Y'all really surprised by my answer on that?
Look here. I'm just doing a bad impression.
I know. Well, so, and I'm not talking about like just his funniness. I'm talking about when he gets serious and like he actually gives life advice from things that he did. Like I've seen so many motivational videos where he goes and like the things he says, I'm like, that hits deep. Or when he used to have his talk show, he had the Ask Steve segment. And I really enjoyed that segment where he would give his advice. Again, people were asking for advice at the point. I just think that the way he articulates things from his own experiences very well. The other two I had put down was Mel Robbins. You guys probably are not. So, well, sorry, I should not. Do you know who Mel Robbins is? Mm-mm. Okay, she's a therapist, and she has her own podcast and everything.
Tony's wife?
No. Have you heard of the Let Them theory?
Nah. Like, let them be wrong?
No, like if someone frustrates you or something, let them. You know, there's a whole long list. It's actually a really good theory.
That's a frustrating theory.
No, she says it much better than I did. I'll send you the clip later.
Oofta.
The other one's John. This is kind of a newer guy. He's an
John Cena.
How'd you know?
He is an amazing communicator. He was on Club Shay Shay. He is incredibly articulate, and his trajectory and his story is impressive.
And he's a great wrestler. He's actually on his.
He's really athletic.
Oh, he's one of like the best. He's actually on his retirement.
Yeah,
run right now. John Gustin or Gustin, he's the Tired Dad. So I have all the shirts Tired Dad. He had been addicted to I'm not sure what, but since then he like posts daily, and he's a father, and so it's more geared towards dads. But the things he has said has really impacted me. And then Medea,
Tyler Perry, everybody.
Medea, just Medea.
Okay. Let's get into the week.
There's a love-hate relationship between. This is a blanket statement, so get ready for some spice comments, guys. Between the community of black people and how we feel about Tyler Perry, and
he's polarizing.
Not really. I don't think he's polarizing. It just the character is this. Like I know the character, so therefore I don't really want to see the character anymore. Now there's the Medea train is slowed down a lot.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
So you're talking about specifically with Medea?
Just the plays and everything, yeah. We used to watch the plays when the plays were plays, not the movies. Then they turned to movies, and then we watched those too. And it was like, dang, all right, Medea.
I love Medea. That was really just a joke. Let's go to our weekly segment, though. It did not go over well, though.
But I do like you.
So my weekly segment is crazy.
Our weekly segment, what's it called?
That's crazy.
Go ahead with yours.
So we were talking about like airports earlier. So I'm traveling with my son, right? And he messes his diaper up.
He stays right here.
I'm traveling with my son. He messes his diaper up. All right, I take him to the bathroom. We've talked about traveling. We talked about how I don't like people don't talk to me in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Now I am changing my son. There's a table, there's a space in the bathroom. It's 2024. I'm doing it, and there's a guy behind me. He's like, "Hey, you got your hands full?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
That's a stupid comment. Everybody who says that,
yeah,
dumb comment.
That. If I don't literally have my hands full, don't say it. If I literally have my hands full, don't say it.
Like, bro. So he's like, "Yeah, you got your hands full." I'm like, "Haha, yeah, okay." And then he said, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "I'm good." And like at first I was like, "Oh, he's trying to be helpful." And then I was like, "Ew, what do you do?" Like that weirded me out.
That is kind of a very weird.
It was very weird.
Just because
I want to chalk it up to nervous energy, just like saying I'm saying something to say something, but also.
But I'd be a little offended.
The villain in me says, "No, I'm fine, but let me know when I can help you since we're having this conversation."
Yeah, that was like
I'll slide him a
I have a particular
card.
set of skills.
It was like he was like, "Do you need a hand?" I was like, "I got no." What do you mean? Like, but I hopefully I think I played up. I was like, "I'm okay, thanks."
Did you get propositioned?
I don't know if he was propositioning me or like trying to just like get a peek at my son while he was exposed. I don't know. I'm just like the whole situation was crazy. Again, don't talk to me in a bathroom. Hush. Somebody talked to me at church today on Sunday in a bathroom. They don't watch the podcast, so they don't know I hate that.
At least they didn't next time give them a QR code sticker and be like, hey, you should really check this out. Especially episode 19 in the That's How You Feel segment.
If you ask me if I need help in the bathroom, I will treat you like a hostile witness. You brought this on yourself.
What you got, Charles?
So I learned a lesson this past week. Don't ever stop working out and or stretching or doing some version of physical activity for long periods of time or just at all. Mm-hmm. My son was standing on our iPad. Why? Because he's 4. Told him to get off. I reached down to get said iPad whilst holding a plate of lunch. I reached down and then I was promptly shot in the back with a sledgehammer.
You pull your back?
My back hip, my right back hip was fractured. It was spinal. I
broke my back.
And then I was just there. My wife wasn't around. I was just on all fours.
You didn't have
the
a life
kids
alert?
didn't care. My food was just right there uneaten. And I just had to be there with myself. After a few minutes, probably 7 or so, I mustered the strength to get up. But that back hip wasn't hipping. I couldn't hop either.
Pick up an iPad and threw your back.
For the remainder of the day, I was short of breath. My pelvis was all weird. There was pressures where there weren't pressures before. I took some ibuprofen. They ain't do nothing.
It's called old age.
Nah. This was my fault. I brought this on me. It's been at least 6 months since I've worked out to any certain
6
capacity.
months? Okay. Yeah, me too.
And I will never go through this again. If
That's
this is
crazy.
what getting old is, never.
There are times I'm trying to get fit now, but there are times where I'll bend for something and I can feel it starting to go I'm like, oh, and then I have to.
I didn't get a warning. It was
after it happens so much.
wow.
He needs some milk.
I couldn't breathe. It took my breath away. And my kids did not care.
Yeah, they're just gonna let you die.
Dad's playing horsey. Let's all play.
Oh yes. They definitely climbed on my back.
That's right.
I am just now recovering from that.
I tweaked my back turning around to say, huh. I was, huh.
You don't want to get to that stage, do you?
I turned around too fast. It was
throw
like,
my back out in college squatting. And the reason why is because that particular day I chose to chew gum.
Chew gum?
Chew gum. So I had some weight on my back, but I was still warming up. But that day I was just chomping on gum out of my zone. I went down, went to go up and did some weird twist or something. And then that same gun that hit me, it wasn't a sledgehammer that time, but it got me.
Yeah.
My coach said, rack it and go lay down.
I will tell you, when you pull a muscle in your back, it is not pretty. It hurts.
What's your segment, Levi?
So I was, man, so many things are happening in my mind. You had mentioned talking at concerts, how it annoys you. Mm-hmm. My wife surprised me, and I got to go to the Zach Bryan concert, which was phenomenal.
Is he related to Luke Bryan?
No.
Okay.
But there were these, and I don't even think I talked to my wife about it, but there were these younger folks behind us, and during the pre-performers or whatever, which the second one, Matt Mason, phenomenal. They were just talking so loud, and even when they would try to when Zach Bryan was performing and they needed to talk to their friends, they would talk so loud. And I don't know if you noticed it, but man, I was sitting there. I'm like, Caleb would be ticked because I'm ticked.
You ever do the slight turnaround,
I had before. I did not
say
that.
something to him.
But I also, real quick, so with your bathroom story, my wife, we had went on a spontaneous trip to Branson when we had Brooklyn as a baby. And we went to Lambert's, and she was like, "Oh, I should probably go change Brooklyn." So she goes into the bathroom. There is no child fold like thing. So there was this, and I'm telling this story from what she told me. There was this black like shelf. So she's like, okay, I guess I'm changing her here. So she starts to change her, and then shake your head if I'm correct. Brooklyn like pooped and shot on the wall, on the floor, and so Julie is there trying to clean up this while poop's everywhere in the bathroom at Lambert's. We went back a couple weeks ago. They now have the child folding things.
Lesson learned.
Also, last thing before we end this episode, I did make it to Run It Black, y'all. And let me just give a shout out to Run It Black because
he is now a black man.
Is about 0.07%. I'm just kidding. But it is honestly, I don't know. I wanted to go, but now that I've been, it's so cool because I ran more. And speaking of, I was so sore the next day, every muscle in my body from that run. But it encouraged me to run more than I would have when I would have been by myself. And also I loved like while I was running the constant like, you guys got it, keep going, keep going. It was for people that didn't even know me because y'all were hyping me up and everything too. And then the end when you have that tunnel when you're finishing and people are cheering, like Run It Black is something special. And if you have time on Saturday at 8:00 or Tuesday evenings, please check it out because I promise you it is a really amazing group of people, and I'm so glad that I finally got to go, and I will be back.
This is cool. It's actually, it seems like it's a little epidemic. It's popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
Casey has Run It Black. My sister and brother-in-law live in St. Louis, and they have a running crew also.
Yeah.
So, like, these different communities are doing this whole get
it's
active
definitely,
run thing.
like I think Michaela said, it's a new way to meet people and stuff, so.
Sure is.
Well, CJ, it has been an honor to have you on this episode.
I am so excited that I got to be here.
Yeah. So, Caleb, what you got to let us out?
Thanks for watching.
Oh, wait, you want a pumpkin spice donut?
Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for those that are doing that. Again, you can find our merch at that'showyoufeelshow.com. We'll see you next week.
Well, I'm going to eat some Big Deborah.
That was so wrong.
I just sound really wrong.
You gonna go eat some Big Deborah? Yo.
I was going with the Little Debbie.
It took a while for me to register.
That's crazy.